was working a 9 to 5 job, but then my salary wasn't enough and I decided to level it up. I am a trader. I've been trading for 3 years and it's really a great one, trading with good funded trader. And yeah, it's the firm that I've gotten most of our payouts and I'm proud to be a trader with GFT.
How much are you funded right now?
With GFT, it's 100K. For my personal goal, I'm looking to max up to $1 million before the end of this year.
Welcome everyone to this new interview. Today we have Mr. Perfect all the way from Nigeria. How are you? Can you please do a quick introduction on who you are?
Of course, I'm good. My name is Perfect and I'm a trader. I've been trading for 3 years and it's really a great one, trading with GFT, good funded trader. And yeah, it's the firm that I've gotten most of our payouts and I'm proud to be a trader with GFT.
Amazing. It got my attention a lot that you had a few payouts with us, which is amazing. And that's why, that's what we're here right now. So my next question for you is, so for how long have you been trading so far?
That's 3 years now.
3 years? Nice. What made you start trading? How do you start?
So basically, I was working a 9 to 5 job and I was literally, I think 18 or so. But then my salary wasn't enough and I decided to level it up because the money was not enough and I needed something that can actually cater for my needs and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but then I found out the major thing was how to make money online.
Yeah.
I found Forex, started learning how to trade Forex, and I ended up stumbling on Forex itself, learned the strategy and started going for it. Basically, how to make more money. That's what brought me to Forex.
And I wanted to ask as well, so you had a 9 to 5 before.
Yeah.
I heard a lot of people that they said they couldn't afford buying challenges. Was that your case as well, or you never had a problem to?
Now, that's a good question because buying challenges is something that a lot of people would like to do, but cannot due to the lack of funds, right? So then, in as much as I stopped my 9 to 5, I had a skill, and that was graphic design. I knew how to design. So designing was something I started doing by the side so I can actually make money. But this time I was doing it like a freelancer. So the freelance business scaled up a little bit. I was able to get payments in Nigeria. I got Naira. Then I scaled up to working for foreign clients. So that way I started getting paid in USD. So it wasn't really much of a problem, but it was quite of a problem because the account sizes, I was not really conversant with the thousands of dollars, right? So I was just in the hundreds. I was just seeing the hundreds a little bit. So that's what I would say. So it was that skill that actually gave me a leverage to buying the accounts and the accounts growing. Started from small all the way to that level.
That's amazing. That's a crazy story and it's something that probably a lot of the people who are watching this interview right now, they lack the funds to buy an account. I know we offer multiple things. We have giveaways, we have monthly competitions, co-funded trader, but something that you can always do is, just learn an extra skill like you do yourself. That's amazing. And especially like you said, the key factor was finding clients that were foreign. So, the currency that you get for the work that you do was in USD. So, your story is actually amazing of how you started, freelancing. When do you start learning about, graphic design and all that?
So when I started freelancing, that was 2021, 2022. So it kind of I was breaking into it. So 2020, I was working as the 9 to 5. 2021, I kind of stopped. COVID was extreme. So I stopped 2021 and then I started looking for the online ways of making that flyers and all. Then 2022, that was the peak moment for the graphic design and freelance.
How much are you funded right now?
With GFT, it's 100K.
No, that's actually a big amount. I still remember a few years ago when I got funded with 100K, I was like, okay, that's the end goal for me. So then you can actually make a good amount with that. Yeah. And so what are your goals with trading moving forward?
Now, basically, I trade and I also mentor people. So we have a plan we're running right now, which is called the 30-day bootcamp to payout. Now, my goal is actually to help people do exactly what I am doing. Now, the last time we did that in 2025, we were able to get 55 funded traders, which some of them are from Good Funded Trader and other firms as well. So depending on the varieties. So then I was able to get that done. I taught them how to trade. I taught them how to trade like a prop firm trader. You know, when you're trading, looking forward to making money, and when you're trading as a prop firm trader, it's a whole different ball game. So I taught them that, and I was able to get payouts with them, and also, but this time in 2026, I'm looking to make it double, at least 100 people, 100 payouts. But this time, if possible, all with GFT. So they can, before they get signed up, you must be registered or have an account with GFT, and we can work it out. So that's actually my goal. My goal, I know how to do the trading. So the thing now is how to impact people and teach people. Then personally, for my personal goal, I'm looking to max up to $1 million before the end of this year. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but I know it's just a matter of time.
Yeah. I'm sure you're gonna get it. You're gonna get it.
Sure.
And so for those who are watching and they might be interested on, on your boot count, how can they
Yeah.
find you on social media with your handle?
My handle is Perfect Pex. So my name is Perfect and my work name is Pex. So I just like coin them together.
Okay.
Perfect Pex on Instagram, on YouTube, and on TikTok. On TikTok, Perfect Pex EX. So the X is 2 times, but PERFECT on Instagram, on YouTube. So YouTube, I'm quite vigorous on YouTube. I post a lot about GFT. I talk about them. I post about trading and also, yeah.
Okay, great. And going back to trading, so I wanted to ask, what do you trade? What instruments do you trade right now? Are you like industry trader,
Okay,
metals?
so now I trade basically GBP USD, Euro USD, and USD CAD. Now I like it calm, and at the same time I like it aggressive. GBP USD is aggressive in the London session and probably in the New York session and probably London opening. So they tend to like fluctuate well, but then at the same time they're quite calm. Unlike being aggressive like gold, I'm not really good at gold, but I like GBP USD more. If GBP USD can get me good payouts, I don't mind being in the crowd trying to chase who is a better gold trader. I just trade and make my money, and that's all I need.
Exactly. Exactly. And I don't know, I know you're with your tablet right now. Do you mind sharing a screen or like giving us an example of like maybe like an entry that you had not too long ago or from the last payout, what made you that 1,000
Okay,
payout?
now let me see. I don't know if my network is going to allow me, but there was a trade for last week Friday. Let me see if I can pop out trading view. This one right here, this is GBP USD,
Yeah.
and I'm targeting GBP USD to going long. Why? I'm on the 15 minutes time frame though. Now, this I'm shifting to the 4 hour time frame. Okay, so basically looking at GBP USD from this axis right here, looks like we are uptrending from there, from here, going to the upside, right?
Yeah.
That's what it looks like. We're uptrending. So, but then at the top, we got a double top right there. This is the 4 hour time frame. We got a double top right there. And the moment we see the double top, we see that there is a change in trend. Now, uptrend, you will need to see a lower high, lower high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. So once we see all of those stuff, we know we are still going up. But in this case, we got the double top, and then the bias changed from lower high, higher high to higher low, lower high. This stuff is quite confusing me. Lower low, right? So now lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Now my first trade was looking like, now this one right here, what actually made me take this one was a back test. This is the actual trade here. So this guy, he came to the resistance level, and I was looking at it like, okay, there's a huge chance if I switch to the line chart, this is looking like a head and shoulder.
Yeah.
All right. So now I said, okay, if this is looking like a head and shoulder, there's a chance we're going to get the lower high. So once we see the lower high get to this region, compared to this one as a high and this one as well, and this double top, then there's a huge chance the market is now starting to sell. The market sold a little bit, but I missed out on it. So I waited for it to come into the zone again. And there it was a double top, which was plain. Now, double top here, double top here. So there's a huge chance that the market is going to sell. And then I went to the lower time frame around 15 minutes and I looked for an entry there. a candlestick pattern was what I needed. I classify it to be the text entry model. So it's taking a little bit of time to load. Like I said, the network is not really so good. Okay. So now this was where I found my entry. Now, if you look, you trade, right?
Yeah.
So now if you look at this, you're going to see the head and shoulder is clearer. Here, here, and here. You can see it now. If you go to the line chart, you can see the chart looking very clear now. So that was exactly where I saw this tweezer top, and then I set my stop loss above this high here, above this high. So I looked at it, I was like, okay, 29 pips is not bad. The thing here is, as long as I can get 1 to 3 weeks to reward, I'm good to go. So I drag it down to 1 to 3. Once I get the 1 to 3 weeks to reward, I'm good to go. And that was it. Despite all these moves here, it doesn't matter to me. What I need is just the 1 to 3 weeks reward. As long as I get that, I'm satisfied, I would say. And then that's it. That was a sweet entry I got, and then that was done. Okay, so this bullish move happened here on Friday. So I would like to go to a lower time frame as well, the 50 minutes time frame. But then, so now what I needed for this is simple. I needed this market to do what I call a failed break and retest. Now, the strategy I used is the peg strategy, right? I used the peg strategy and I call it failed break and retest is going to mean a buy for me. Now, this is a break. This is a retest, right? And then the market comes down. Now, on getting to this point, if you remember that I entered for a sell here again when the market created a double top, right? But then I'm not going to be entering for a sell here again because the market didn't give me my entries. It didn't give me my entries. So what it did there was it failed. You can see it, right? So it's supposed to sell on like a double top. You understand, like a double top, but then it failed. So now what I used is because it failed, then I need to get a retest back into that zone. The moment I got the retest back into the zone, I knew that, okay, this is a high now. The market is taking out this high, retesting back to this high. We need to get to the top. And that was exactly where I looked at this engulfing candle right here. I set my stop loss a little bit below this low right here. And then 1 to 3 weeks reward, that's all I needed. And around this region, we are still waiting for it. Now, if you look, I still have some entries around here. I have an entry here. Why? Because the market kept on trending. So all I needed to do, because the uptrend has been activated, all I need to do is once we get a break, a retest, I enter, a break, a retest, I enter, just like that on the 50 minutes time frame. And that's it.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Nice.
Thank you. It's not really difficult.
Yeah, that's amazing. Actually, I never tried it that way, but it makes a lot of sense, especially the way you explain it. And now you guys who are watching, if you guys are interested, you already know how to find him. And also, I wanted to ask. So I know you trade. I know you did your graphic design as well as a freelance. I know you make content. Is there anything else you do besides trading?
Yeah, of course. I'm a graphic designer, video editor. I also do scripting, YouTubing. Like I'm a creator. Just anything concerning creating.
You're an artist. You're an artist.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, great.
So,
and if you could say, do you have like any goals from, let's say, for 2026 in terms of trading, content, and everything that you got going on?
Now, when it comes to, like I told you, my goal for trading is to at least get 100 people funded. So we've started already. Now, my goal for content is at least my YouTube should at least get to 20,000 subscribers before the end of this year. We're at 6,000 right now. So before the end of this year, I'm definitely sure by God's grace, we're going to get to like 20K. And then Instagram should be, right now at Instagram, we're close to 15,000, but I'm expecting like 50K before the end of this year. So, and of course, $1 million in funding. That's actually
you never know. Deal. You never know. Everything can happen. Yeah. So one of my last questions would be: imagine that I'm one of your students and I'm new to trading. I'm struggling with discipline. I'm struggling with, a lot of things because I'm a beginner. What advice would you give someone like me who maybe, I'm struggling with discipline and I also don't have the funds or the capital
Yeah.
to buy an account?
All right. So now let's start with discipline, right? Around 2023, I had a discipline problem. In fact, everybody has a discipline problem, but at the end of the day, is what drives you that matters. So I saw prop firm as something that a lot of people can, in fact, a lot of people are doing and they're making good money from it. So, but then I find it very difficult. So what made me fix my discipline was if this trading is going to work, I need to outline the things that is going to make it work for me. Now, everybody are different, right? Trading strategy, I just showed you my strategy and you're like, oh, it's nice, but then you don't trade like that. So that's nice. But then what works for me might not work for you. But the truth here is if you plan out what is working for you, if you tell yourself the truth, if you follow this, let's say it is A, B, C, D, these are your plan, and you tell yourself the truth that this A, B, C, D is going to get you $1 million in funding, the next question you're going to ask yourself is that $1 million worth my time? If it is worth my time, then why not follow the A, B, C, D? Because to you, it is a guaranteed success. So why beat around the bush? So those are the things that when you think about it, you'd be like, in the next 6 months, 12 months, if I stick to A, B, C, D, there's a huge chance I'm going to be funded $1 million. But then if I don't stick to A, B, C, D and I start to do A, W, C, S, there is no guarantee that I'm going to get you $1 million. So if you know what is going to work for you, try as much as possible to look at the end goal and tell yourself, this end goal is worth my time, so I must follow the means to get that end goal. So that's what, that doesn't mean you're not going to fail. At some point, that doesn't mean you're not going to fail. You're still going to fail. But then what drives you is actually going to take you to the destination. That's how I literally pull out from a lot of drawdowns, literally a lot of drawdowns. So that's it. Then for people who don't have money to buy challenges, I keep telling my students this, you cannot come into an industry that money flows and not expect to spend money. Now, I wouldn't say spend, but I would say invest, because in this case, you're investing in yourself. Now, buying a $200,000 account, it looks like, oh, $1,000, I'm going to spend my $1,000. In Nigeria, $1,000 is 1.4 million. That is a huge amount of money in Nigeria to spend on something virtual. Now you buy it, there is no surety you're going to pass. But the bright side of this is when I pass, I can literally make 1.4 million in a twinkle of an eye. Because your risk, in fact, your risk is way more than 1.4. Because $200,000, only 1% is 2,000. But you got the account for 1,000. God be by your side, you pass the account, you risk only 1% to get 2%. That means you're getting $4,000. Your first payout is going to give you the joy of your life.
I mean, the opportunity is there, yeah.
Yeah. So when I think about this thing, I'd be like, what can I do? The next question I'm asking myself is, what can I do to actually get me money? And like I said, I was working in a printing press, which was where I was working from the very start. I learned how to design. I pulled out of there. The money was not enough. I started designing for people. One thing I say is don't be ashamed of what you do, because those people who are going to criticize you won't put food on your table when it is time. So once I remember that quote, I pick up myself, started going from places to places. Do you need flyers? Do you need this? Do you need that? As little as I was, I started getting those works. And later on, I got some link ups to be doing it online. That's what I keep telling the student. You have to get a skill so you can finance your trading. Because one thing I see as a problem is you want to get a payout of $1,000, but you want to get that 10K account. You're suffering it. It's just like you're like, an SVJ, right?
Yeah.
An SVJ is way faster than a Toyota, regardless of the Toyota. Now, that SVJ, your opponent has the SVJ, but you have the Corolla, and you want to match up to the SVJ. How do you race an SVJ? What you're going to end up doing is you're going to accelerate the car so much that it might knock its engine. But the SVJ is just going to a little bit of pressing and it's off because the engines are not the same thing. The engines in this case represent the account. Even if you increase the lot size so big in a 10K account, it cannot give you that $1,000 without waiting. But with $100,000, if you just do it small, before 20 pips, you're seeing 1K.
Exactly.
That's the idea there.
That's something that a lot of people don't understand, taking everything step by step. And even if you start with like a 5K or 10K account today, doesn't mean that maybe by the end of the year, you're not gonna have like
Exactly.
a 1 million fund. And my last question to you is, if you had to send like a quick message from now, from this video, to yourself in 5 years, what would you say?
Now, IPEX telling myself, looking at me right now,
Mhm.
in the next 5 years, I'll be one of the most, I like being known. So I'm going to say extremely famous trader because helping people is one way to get famous. That's literally it. Number one. Number two, very extremely successful in the business of trading. I mean, in the business of trading, and then successful in my own trading. And yeah, because of GFT service to me and the payout and all, I would like to own my own prop firm probably in the next 5 years.
Hey, that's a good one. I never heard that before from someone that
Yeah,
interviews. Okay, that's a good one. It's a good one. Let's see.
yeah, because
In 5 years,
imagine
I want
having,
to check this video
yeah,
again. And thank you so much for coming to this interview. It's been a pleasure.
yeah,
And obviously, the more payouts you get, we might have more interviews. And who knows, maybe
yeah,
I'm gonna do an event in Nigeria as well, in Africa, in person. So who knows?
yeah,
But it was nice to see you, and yeah, see you in the next interview.
yeah. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.